So we're done coding out and designing and styling this top section. It's great for a landing page. It's clean, simple, and has a clear call to action. In this lesson, I want to talk about Bootstrap's grid system so we can understand what's going on down here. And through understanding that, then we'll be able to create any sort of layout we want for any site we want. And for the best way to understand this grid system is to see it in action. So I've gone ahead and created this grid file right here. So I'm going to open it in the browser. All right. So Bootstrap is based on a 12-column grid system. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, it means that we can create divs that are as skinny as 1/12 the width of the page, all the way to ones that are the full width of the page. And with the ability to do this, it allows us to create layouts of any type. So let's look at this here. Each of these are rows. We have a row here, row, row, row. Now this top row consists of 12 divs that are 1 column in width. All right, so each div's 1/12 of the page in width. All right, now we have this next row. Right here, you have one div with 2/3 of the page and one div with 1/3 of the page. So this is saying here that we gave this column a width, or I'm sorry, we gave this div a width of 8 columns, and then here we gave this div a width of 4 columns. So you can see it now, 3 divs of equal width, each has 4 columns of width. And then here, 2 divs of equal width, so each are half the page, each are 6 columns of width. So with this, as long as you make the divs add up to 12, you can create an infinite number of combinations. So, you know, we could do 8 and 4, we could do 3, 3, 3, and 3. You got 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6. All right. Now there's 2 rules we got to follow here that are really important. First of all, each of these rows have to be within a container div. So you can see each of these rows are within this container div here, and even easier to see, we'll go over to Sublime. So each of these rows are within this div class container. Now, rule number 2, only columns may be immediate children of rows. So each of these are columns, and they all have to be immediate children to rows, and only columns can be immediate children. So let's go over here and look at our code here. Yep, each of these columns are immediate children of this row. And remember, we do these indentions so you can see the child elements. So it keeps it organized for us. I mean, they would still be child elements if they weren't indented here, but this just helps us see it faster. These 2 are child elements, immediate child elements of the row. And these 3 and these 2 are as well. So what happens if we don't follow that rule? Let's put in a paragraph here. This is not a column, but is an immediate child element of that row. Save that, reload the page. Doesn't look like that big of a deal, but if you notice here, the text right here is outside this line that this text seems to follow here. The reason why is because of this container, and we're not following the rules here, so this paragraph pushes outside of that container. So, and to make it even worse, say we just said this makes it worse. Now it really looks messed up. So let's look at this, and maybe you're like, well, I want this, you know, this paragraph to be above this row here and to be a span across. Well, we've kind of already, or we have already done with this header here, but let's go ahead and show you what it looks like if we do that. So let's take all this out, and you can just make this paragraph right here. This is within the container, but outside the row. All right, so nice. Now it's all on this line. Okay, so what does all this mean? Basically, you can use these to make any layout you want. So you can see here, these are 3 columns, or 3 divs of equal width. which ends up looking like columns here. See, all 3 divs equal width here. So what they've done here is they've done 3 columns, 3 divs with a width of 4 columns. That's exactly what we have here. It just looks a little different because the padding and the background, or I'm sorry, because of the background and the border. So now you can see it. And then you can take those columns and style them even more with CSS so they look as good as these do, which we will be doing in the following lessons. And for those of you out there that might be following along and picking this up quick and have a couple questions, I know what you're thinking. So first off, you're wondering, well, Ryan, you said that divs are block elements earlier in the course, so how are they all on the same line here? Because they should be going to a new line. That's a great question. I'm glad you picked up on that because that means you're learning fast. For now, just take it as, this is one of the benefits of using Bootstrap so that we can build things fast. And what we will do is we'll go over this later in the advanced parts of the course. But for now, Bootstrap has already taken care of the code for us. We're going to rely on them. They're professionals. Hundreds of sites use this, and this is a big benefit of using Bootstrap and being able to build sites fast. Then number 2, you've noticed on all these divs that we've been, typing in that the class has column and a number, but it also has this MD right here. Has it on that site, also has it here, and it has it on all these divs we've made here. For now, ignore that. We'll also go over that later in the course when we talk about building responsive sites. So great job in this lesson. Let's move on to designing this section right here.